Hello, welcome to the Lopolight Control Hub run-through. We have created a suitcase with some test equipment for you to play with. I will run it through and we'll hope that you will enjoy this. This is the Control Hub suitcase that we created for you. We open it and within you will find a system you can take out. You can see the wiring on the back side, and then you can actually work with it. So I'll just explain a little about it in details. Next step is connecting the Ethernet. We have an Ethernet port here, and it's a standard RJ45 connector that goes in, so should be no problem for you. We have pre-fitted some of the lights that you see here into the control hub. This area here is the terminals, and we have the plus in here and one minus in. So we apply power on this, and we fitted a box for you to insert things that you want to try out. So you got the black is the minus and red is the plus, either 12 or 24 volt as we talked about before. We got some dip switches here. That is the manual override for each channel. And if you see that these two channels or these two dip switches are up, so they are active at the moment. So we got a buzzer that will alarm. So if we have an alarm situation, it will sound. And we got the settings, which is the one that you can see on the MFD later. This section over here of the terminals are dedicated for the power input. We got an alarm trigger output so that we can trigger either a siren or a strobe light, whatever you need to make you aware that alarm has been triggered. The four below terminals are for the hardware input, so we can actually apply a button to control some of the groups, which I will come into later on. I have now applied 12 volt to this system, but it could also be 24 volt as we already discussed. And now we set up the system. You see a little green LED showing that we have power applied and the system is functional. If we do get an alarm because one light fails or for some other reason an alarm is triggered, this one will turn red. So you have an indication that there is an alarm situation. We have, as I spoke before about, applied a hardware input, which is this button, and we assigned it to the anchor light here. So even though the MFD is not connected, we will still be able to override it. And we can also do the override by the dip switches manually, but they can be a little hard to get a hold of. So the group button, which we applied here for this hardware input number one, could be consisting of several lights into a group. So you would be able to have actually buttons that are equivalent to the ones that you apply later on, which you will see when we have underway or another situation where we will turn on several channels. In case that an MFD should fail, which we of course never expect, but if it does, or if you have a reason to do a manual override, you will be able to go in and do the dip switch here and turn it on, and then you will turn on light manually. This light will not be able to be turned off via the MFD when you turn the MFD on again. You will have to go and disconnect it here. And now we will connect the control hub to the MFD, and you have to follow some steps to do that. So we'll show it. So we got the connection here. The RJ45 cable goes into the port. And we now have to choose on the MFD the application so that we can get the Lopolight functionalities up on the screen. So go into home, you go to the one helm, and actually here you go. So we've got the Lopolight. It's now seeing the unit, so we'll push on that one. And you are now in contact with the Lopolight control hub. So now we have to start programming the actual MFD with the functionalities that we want to be controlled by the control hub. So the way to do it here on the Garmin systems, we'll take a tablet and connect, or a computer. So you know that how to set up the wireless network on your MFD. So what we do here is I connect it into the MFD. I've already connected, and in order to get further on, I will start my browser. And I want to connect to the MFD, so I go to Settings. And now we have here the IP address. And then we go up and we punch in the actual IP address into the system here. Okay, now we've connected the tablet or computer to the marine network on the Garmin, and we have the same display on the screens. So if I go up here, turn on underway, it will turn on the MFD as well and turn the lights on. So I can now control it as a clone. That's good. What we need now is we need to go into settings in order to choose what kind of vessel we want to use. So we go into settings. You see there's under the configuration library here, we press that one, and you have no information over here. You got some vessels that are already pre-arranged for us. So if I go to the tablet and do the same thing, press settings and then press control library. Here, now we got this little button here, which for some reason is not showing on the Garmin. Then we can actually go and choose whatever vessel we want. So I've pre-arranged 4 types of vessels, or 4 choices, 2 powerboats, one with 12 volt and one with 24 volt, and the same with a sailboat. So let's go and say you want to apply 24 volt to the system. You choose one of these settings and it will be ready for using 24 volt. To change the settings from one vessel to another that will apply to whatever use you have, it's quite easy. We go and we find one of the vessels that we want to use. So if we choose the egg-shot 12 volt setting here, I will now go up and I've changed the whole setting now to a sailing vessel. The layout will be slightly different than you saw on the other one. And if I update the screen on the MFD, it is now imported. So this is how you choose some of the pre-arranged settings, and it will also bring in the picture of the setting of the vessel. The control hub is controlling up to 16 channels, and on the front case here we have a label in which you can write the different channels, what they are controlling. So channel 1 could be starboard, and channel 2 could be port light, and then you apply the cables from the different lights to the different channels. So you have an overview of which channel is controlling which light. The Lopolight is very versatile in what we can do with it. We have the 16 channels that we can control something with, and it could be output for controlling lights. It could also be an input where you would want to monitor hatches that are not closed. So if you have hatch sensors that you would want to run into the system here, or it could be a bilge water alarm sensor that will tell you we've got alarm because of water ingress in the vessel.